Alright everyone, welcome back to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video with Fat Phil, and today we're going to be talking about Jar Jar Binks and how he could potentially be one of the biggest mistakes you make with your account. We're going to get in here. I think this will be controversial, but I hope you guys see the points I make in this video and understand how they impact your account. So go ahead, like and subscribe, comment down below, let me know your thoughts. Let's give a massive shout out to all the channel members for their continued support. Of course, there we go. There they are. Channel members, thank you guys again for your continued faith to bring you good quality content. If you're ever interested, again, that link is always in the channel description down below. So, of course, to my Wampa and Jedi Master tier members, thank you so much. And then, of course, we cannot forget those who are on the council. Of course, there it is. See, just took a little bit. It didn't want to cooperate. Thank you guys. Again, you are part of the Fat family, even if you are not yet granted the rank of Master. So, let's get into our intro and let's talk about Jar Jar. Alright, here we go. So, Jar Jar Binks. Now, this guy is obviously amazing. We've seen that in gameplay. We've seen what he can do. Obviously, today's Galactic Challenge at the time of recording, I told you all that it was ridiculous, and it's even harder than we thought. So, yeah, this guy, it's crazy, right? It sucks. So, but why could Jar Jar be one of the biggest mistakes you make with your account? Well, let's break it down here. So yes, he is your humble servant, right? Me say called Jar Jar Binks. Me say your humble servant. I'm not doing that again until I'm with Agnards. So, to be fair, Captain Tarpals just hit Cantina. And like why I made this video now was I was waiting to see where Tarpals went farmable. Him going to the Cantina was, I mean, he's on an 8 energy node. So I'm not complaining there. I love it. However, it does complicate the remaining farming for Booma and for, for Faelinks. Because had one of them gone to the Cantina, it makes things easier because you'd have more time to hard node farm Captain Tarpals, right? With Jar Jar, the big problem is we're going to get constrained very quickly on the amount of time we have to farm. So I was hoping if Tarpals went to a hard node, one of the newer Gungans may have gone to the Cantina, which would be less time, and that would, help us out a lot more. Unfortunately, it was Tarpals. It went to 8 energy, so I really can't complain too much. It's nice for resources. And the other side of this here is that, like, from a signal data perspective, it's only Relic 5s, which is light work. It's very easy to get a Relic 5. You're probably looking at, I don't know. I don't even know if it would take maybe a week of farming. I don't even know if it'd be a week of farming in the Cantina if you did your refreshes. Like, it's not very, like, it's not a long wait to go to get a Relic 5. It's not a lot of signal data. So yeah, maybe a week, that might be a bit much, but you get the idea. So very easy. It's light work on that. So here's Boss Nass. The math from like everybody that I've, seen all the across different content creators, the math I've kind of done on the back of my napkins, you're going to need 1 refresh of Boss Nass if you want to unlock Jar Jar in 3 months. You need 1 refresh. If you want to unlock him in 3 months, like, you need to spend 200 energy a day. That's because he's on a 20 energy node, right? The node that he's on is 20 energy, which means you need to spend 100 energy to do him the first time, and then 100 after you refresh the node for 25 crystals. So that's 200 energy every single day going to Boss Nass. So then we get to Booma and Faelinks, who are the 2 Gungans left. Now, Faelinks, I did buy the, like, $12.99 packs to try and get a head start on him since he was the last Gungan, and I think that is going to definitely help me get Jar Jar within 3 months. But I think for a lot of you, with these 2 remaining in farming, if they go to hard nodes, you could be in a really big crunch here in terms of your resources trying to get him in 3 months. And I think it could be a big problem because a lot of you are probably already refreshing Boss Nass. You're going after Tarpals because he's an 8 energy node, and you're all excited. But you've got to think about Booma and Faelinks and how you fit their energy into your farming plans. So, Booma, this character, a lot of content creators, are all kind of agreeing you're going to need 2 refreshes of Booma to get Jar Jar within that 3-month time period. So that means you're looking at anywhere from 180 energy a day if he goes to a 12 energy node to 300 energy a day if he follows the Boss Nass route. So right there, if Booma goes to regular energy nodes, you're going to be spending 500 energy every single day between Boss Nass and Booma. That's before you even get to Gungan Faelinks. 500 energy. So if one of them goes to fleet, this does get easier, but it's still not great. That depending what kind of energy node Booma goes on, we could be in a very big crunch in terms of your energy. But we still haven't talked about Faelinks, who you may need 2 to 3 refreshes of in order to unlock Jar Jar in 3 months. So why I'm saying that it could be a big mistake to rush Jar Jar for a lot of accounts is that trying to get him in 3 months could completely derail your resources, because you're going to be spending all of your energy just farming nodes. Like, look, that could be anywhere from 180 if you do 2 refreshes of a 60 energy, of a 12 energy node, because you're going to spend 60 the first time, 60 the second time, and 60 the third time. So that's 180 energy. But realistically, if you're going to do 3 refreshes, you're looking at 240 energy to 400 energy every single day, just farming nodes, just farming shards of Faelinks. That's if you have to do the 3 refreshes a day in order to get Jar Jar in 3 months. So just to show you guys that if they all somehow went to regular energy, you're looking at a bare minimum of 360 energy or 560 energy per day just going to hard nodes. That's if they all go to regular energy, and we're using the minimums for Faelinks and Booma saying that that would be 180 energy a day. But that could get all the way up to 900. So somewhere in that range of 560 to 900 energy every single day. We're not even getting into the crystal costs of doing those refreshes. We're just purely saying, hey, your energy expenditures could be anywhere from 560 to 900. Now, like I said, if, Gungan Faelinks or Booma go to a fleet node, that does make things a little bit easier, but it's still, like, just to show you something here. This is the 735 is the amount of energy you're going to get in a day if you, 240 is your natural accumulation of regular energy. You get energy every 6 minutes, right? Which is, 10 energy an hour, right? 24 hours a day, 240 energy naturally accumulates in your account. You can get the 360 is doing 3 by 50 crystal refreshes, that's 600 energy right there. And then if you log in and get the bonus 45 energy 3 times a day, you're going to get 735 energy every single day without any kind of bonuses from the daily web store. Very quickly, if one of them doesn't go to fleets, you could be running out, like you'd be in the negatives for energy. Like you would, just think about that. You would not have enough energy if they all went to hard nodes with 20 energy. You would still be short 165 energy every single day that you'd need to buy 100 crystal refreshes for in order to get all the Gungans in time to have the shards to get Jar Jar in 3 months. Let that sink in. Now, one of them goes to, one of them goes to fleet energy. So let's say that, Faelinks goes to fleet energy. So you don't have to spend, you can take this down from, 900 to maybe say 500, right? All right. So now I've got, 235 energy to spend elsewhere. That's best case scenario in that regard, right? But if Booma goes to fleet energy, you're probably looking at still spending anywhere from, you're looking at 600 energy. So now you've only got about 735, or you've got 135 left over, right? So very quickly you see, you don't have a lot of leftover energy at that point. Even if one of them goes to fleet, you still don't have a lot of leftover energy to use throughout the day. And that's where we get to the bigger problem. Where the hell do you think you're going to be able to get 2100 Kyrotech in time to get Jar Jar when all of your energy is going to be going to these hard nodes? A lot of you in the mid game, I feel, are going to be much better served waiting to get Jar Jar in 6 months rather than 3. I know that Jar Jar's so good and everybody wants him, but just think through the amount of energy you're going to have to spend. I'm not even getting into the crystal costs of all the refreshes you're going to have to do in order to just get the shards in a position to unlock this character. But you still need all the Kyrotech, not only just to get, and you could take 500 Kyrotech off of this number, so 1600, because you technically don't need to gear Jar Jar for the event, you just need it for afterwards, so 1600 Kyrotech. That's still a lot. especially for a lot of you who don't have anything because you've been doing other stuff. So I really am struggling here to recommend players not at like the top end free to play to rush Jar Jar in 3 months, because you probably don't have all those resources available to you that you can stop doing something. And I think this kind of plays into that, I don't want to say hand, but it kind of plays into the whole thing that it's a very quick turnaround. People don't recognize just how short of a time period 3 months is. Now, we are making some big assumptions here. We're assuming, again, part of this is assuming that like these guys, if they go to one regular, one fleet, it's still much more doable than if they all go to regular energy. However, it's still not going to be a fun process. But the other assumption we're making is that they actually go to hard nodes. Maybe we get another one in the Cantina. Like, I don't want you guys to come at me and say, oh, one of them could go to Cantina, Phil. Like, or what if we get bonus drops? Are you willing to stake the amount of crystals you're going to spend to get Boss Nass, to do this, to do that? Are you willing to stake all that time in the hopes of bonus drops, in the hopes of getting another one to Cantina? I just don't know that that's realistic. Because what I think Capital Games is doing, because they're very good at this, they know that by putting Tarpals in the Cantina now, most players are going to go get him because they like, I'm going to get him. Not thinking that you're going to have to spend how many crystals to get these guys in the time to get Jar Jar in 3 months, which then, hey, here's some packs to buy, revenue going on up. So I think if you're a mid-game free-to-play, I would avoid trying to get Jar Jar in 3 months, and I'd go to 6. You'll still have him for a good bit of the raid, but it'll be so much lighter on your resources. And the thing is, in 3 months, like, we're going to get Jar Jar's Datacron now. In 3 months, it's gone. So even me rushing to get Jar Jar in 3 months, I won't have any time with Jar Jar's Datacron. So I'm not really missing out on any. Like, it's not like I'm trying to get there for the Datacron. I'm just trying to get there for the raid for my guild. But I have those resources that I can make that happen. Like, Kyrotech will be close on, but I think I'll be able to manage it. I was kind of doing some back of napkin math, and I think I'll be okay. So I know that's controversial, guys. Like, I'm not saying that farming Jar Jar isn't smart, but trying to go all in and rush him in 3 months for most of you does not make sense. Because, again, even if they split it up into fleets and regular energy, are you going to be able to do all these extra refreshes, get the signal data, and then you got to worry about mods and zetas? And I think a lot of you are not in a position where this is feasible in 3 months. I think a lot of you are feasible in 6, and I would highly recommend that. Like, if you're still watching, do not think I'm telling you not to farm Jar Jar. But I think you do it slowly. I think you do it more naturally. I think you try and let your account breathe a little bit, because I'm going to just say this and probably, people scream at me in the comments, but I have a feeling that, again, once with this raid and the way that the event is going, you're not going to want a lot of your resources tied up in Gungans in between his releases, right? If this was Bo-Katan Mandalore, where Jar Jar would come back every single month, it'd be a different situation entirely. But because it's 3 months or 6 months, you kind of need to make that decision now. This isn't a Bo-Katan thing where it's like, oh, I'll delay it a month. Like Jar Jar, it's you got to get him in 3, or you got to start planning way beyond that. And that's where I think we need to start thinking about. And that's why I think it'll be a mistake for you to try and get him in 3 months if you don't have the resources, because the amount of energy it's going to require will not leave you with enough time to get Kyrotech for the vast majority of the players in this game. Let me know your thoughts. I hope you guys followed that. Please subscribe. If you're still watching right now, Wampa is king in the comments. I love you all. May the force be with you, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers, my friends.